Good day. It is the 9th of August 2019. My name is Doug, and thanks for tuning in for this episode of the Cryptocurrency Bull Market Watch. We're probably not going to see the beginning of the bull market today, but we're going to observe the bottoms as they're shaping up, and we're going to talk about the perils of trading the bottom formation. All that and more. Let's tune in and watch the altcoins as they're hitting these bottoms. We're talking about the decline and the decline of Tron. But as we do, this is just market observation, not actual trading advice, because I can only give you a slice of the pie here each day for our trading plan, and you need the whole pie in order to be able to actually make those trading decisions. You can have a batting coach, but you need to be able to bat that ball yourself and decide when are you going to pull the trigger, when are you going to swing the bat. That's what you need to learn in order to make this into an actual trading plan. So even though I'm going through and talking about the 1, 2, 3 formations all the time, we'll go into some of these alts and talk about the perils of it. But for the time being, we're looking at Bitcoin prices right here. We have three lower highs. So until it breaks above this trend line, it's still skeptical. And as we're moving into this up trend line, every time it comes to the touch against this trend line, it's like it's going to dump. It's time to sell. It looks like a sell signal all the way along. But to me, this looks like it's building up to scoot a big swath higher yet. And there's no way to know. And some of the indicators from the 24 hours of Bitcoin live stream today were very positive, and some of them were pretty neutral. Some that I really rely on, the MACD indicator, weren't looking as positive as they should have been out of this formation right here, which means that even though all of the alts have been on this massive downtrend, here, let's put Bitcoin into the background. So we can see that as Bitcoin's going up, the alts are going down. Just exactly the same. The alts are going down in comparison to Bitcoin. Now, as we're trading, and we're going to go through more of these in this episode, I'm always looking for, and I'm doing these live streams on, and I trade these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. And as the price is coming down, makes a bottom, comes up and retests that bottom and breaks above the number 2 point. If you can, I just see it automatically. 1, 2, 3, and it broke the number 2 point. If I put on my trade right there, very often it is a fake out breakout and prices come down. What is now known as, I'm quoting the crypto sniper on this, and I noticed it from his video where he's talking about copper prices. And as copper prices were coming down recently, he called it the pissing off the roof pattern. And I looked at the copper, you could see it was a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that broke out and looked great. But as it failed, it was just like the parabolic swoosh down, just like pissing off the roof. And if any of you have been, maybe you haven't been, like I've been caught on these kind of trading patterns where I'm rationalizing all the way down. I'm rationalizing, oh, here, it's going to stop here, it's here. And then you look back and you go, wow, what? I should have just got out at the exponential moving average crossover like my trading plan says. So now the whole thing is to be careful about these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations and have a position sizing strategy and a stop or risk control strategy that is going to help reduce your risks when you are taking a risk. It is a time to take a risk. It could be the time it's taking off. That's what these formations mean. And we will see a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that is going to be the one to take the trade on. And theory is it'll make back all the money that you lost getting out here. You lost getting out here. Maybe you lost getting out here. So there's some losses to make back from this area, some losses from this area, some losses from this area. So eventually prices are going to hit a bottom, theory says, and that they are going to be going back up. And so as they're going up and up and up, your initial position off that bottom formation here will make back everything that you chipped out, testing the bottom formations all the way along. Now, the trick is that you only chip out a little bit of loss on every one of these tests. And you have to know in advance that this is going to happen to you. And once you know that, it's easier to put on a very small position to start off with and then add on to it after you're proven correct. because then you know it's turned around and it's not another fake out breakout and a continuation of the downtrend. So if we go through just a quick view, this is a 5-minute bar. Let me zoom out a bit. Let's clear that and move the chart over. So we get a bit of perspective now on where this bottom formation is. We don't have a 1, 2, 3. There's nothing to do. It's important that we do nothing. And it's not even a sell signal all the way down here. I can't jump in on something that's already moving. I've got to wait for that break. I've got to wait for the chart pattern to make a break, and that's where I can make my decision. Once it's moving, I don't want to jump in because it could be turning around anytime. I got to wait for that consolidation and break. So EOS is no good. Go to Ethereum, that's how long it takes me to trade this coin. And then Litecoin, same thing. Nothing doing here. Tron, same thing. And this is where we got that leading image coming down. The great thing about these markets is that they are trending so perfectly all the way along here. We could grab this trend, parallel trend line on all of these. Grab another one, parallel trend line. Oh, this one's not quite parallel. It's got some parabolic drop at the end, coming out of the channel. And that's what I'm looking for, is something different, something out of the channel on either side is going to give us. And what I'm mostly looking for is that this channel is going to come to a bottom. It will come to a bottom, and it'll be a beautiful bottom. When it happens, it'll come up, it'll break out of this trend. It'll break out of our downtrend just as a double bottom is happening, and our indicators will all be diverging at the same time. So we'll see that underneath that the indicators are diverging. It's breaking out of our parallel trend line, and I don't know when, but there's no trade here yet. So if we go to Ripple and we look at the same thing, no trade here yet as well. Also, we're going to be tuning in from day to day to continue to watch this and see how it unfolds. Today is a pretty short episode because I imagine there's not a lot going on in the rest of the alts. But let me know, where in the world are you from? I'm from central Canada. It is a beautiful sunny day out there, and I want to capture all the data in the charts, but Tron and Ripple are jokes. And you know, I don't know enough about the specific technology to laugh along with you or not. And I don't really care, actually, because I just want to trade these patterns. I want to see this top formation that I think is going to be a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout. And I'm super bullish here. And then it crosses over my exponential moving average. And I want to know this is a pissing off the roof pattern. And I want to go short right there. And I'm not going to take off my short position until this exponential moving average crosses over again. And I'm going to sit, because the markets trend so crazy that that's where the money is. Getting into the break of the trend and sit for a while, get into the break of the trend and sit for a while. So we're watching every day for the break of the trend in Ripple, Tron, Litecoin, which, Litecoin halving, it's all going to go. It'll tell us when we get the 1, 2, 3 bottom formations in these, then we'll know to look further into it. And we've got some pretty clear levels to be watching. If we go into Bitcoin dominance, we can see in the past that when it breaks, it moves fast. Up on the stairs, down on the elevator, rather. So it moves very fast when it does. Now that it's at these historical levels, we're just watching all the time for this to make a top formation, because as we zoom in on that, it'll take a second to load. As we see that top formation actually playing out, it will coincide with the bottom formations in the alts right to the day. And we were watching, different place for my scribblers. This was a potential 1, 2, 3. And a lot of the alts made bottoms on this day, the 26th. No, we got to scroll up more to get to the 26th. Here, a lot of the alts made, here's where the bottoms were being made. 1, 2, 3. And they were testing these bottoms here. And then all of these bottoms failed. And we can see it in our spreadsheet. Where's the spreadsheet? This, I think, is the most powerful tool in all of the cryptocurrency videos out there. And let me know if you've found anything more comprehensive for studying where all of the alts are. We're looking at Poloniex right now, and we have the same data, similar data for Binance as well. And what we can see here is the color coding bearishness or bullishness of the market. And we were into a little bit of a bullish tint here on July the 25th and 26th and 27th. So if we go back into the Bitcoin dominance, July 25th, 26th, and 27th, everything had hit a bottom. They were coming up and maybe breaking higher than those 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. As those 1, 2, 3 bottom formations were shaping up and failing, our exponential moving averages crossed over, and there's our pissing off the roof pattern upside down. But it matches what the rest of the altcoins were doing. And we can see the color coding of it here on those specific dates. And as it started to turn from gray to orange, it's our warning. That matches right when those exponential moving averages were crossing over. As we went from gray to orange across all of these, you can see that was the date and the time, the August 1st and 2nd. No matter which coin we go and look at, all the way across the board, we can see that that's the time they were all breaking. Now we're down to 42 markets into fails. Only 7 are at near fail status here. 3 of them are neutral that have held above those 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. Only 3 of them. Where are they? Omni. Okay, LPT I'm more interested in. I might want to go and actually learn more about that. And then Clam. So there's only 2 markets actually, 1 market actually that's worth looking at that is neutral right now. And let's see what we've got in Binance. Binance, we have 109 fails, 33 near fails, and 12 neutral markets. So then you'd have to look through each of those 12 to see if there's anything that might be interesting there. So this episode, normally I'm going to go through all of the indicators for ADA, and then we go through all the indicators for EOS, and then we go through the indicators for Ethereum. But today I'm not going to do it because there's no formation at all to be monitoring right now. Let's go over to Binance and see. Okay, there are some markets that are starting to pick up, but most are still on a massive move down. Really massive move down. All the way across the board. So we could go take a look at CDT and NXS because Bitcoin, get rid of the favorites, CDT, ABC. Oh, 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout. Clear that up, go to a longer time frame. So now we're moving out to, what is this, the 4-hour time frame. We have a number 1 point, and this is the kind of gray colored market. We'll find that in our spreadsheet. If you are interested in accessing this spreadsheet, you can click on a link in the description down below the video. Now, I've got too many things open here, and I don't have the live dashboard of the video open. Obviously, Andrew Pippin, good to have you along. Sungloth, with no Litecoin, are you still expecting it to move? I was very chipper in the Litecoin video last time, indeed, but you know how fast chipper changes when the prices break your 1, 2, 3 formation. So the chipper faded right there. And actually, come and join us on our Discord chat because I'll do a video and it's coming up to the breakout of the 1, 2, 3 formation, and it is time to take a little bit of a calculated risk, the very beginning of your long-term trade maybe. But if it crashes right there, you've got to have your risk control rules in because you're standing on the edge of the roof. And we have the pissing off the roof pattern that follows the failed 1, 2, 3 bottom. So the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, while it is magic as you catch the right one, 7 times out of 10, you're trading against the trend. It's going on the downtrend and you're trading to find a bottom. All the bots know that everybody's doing this, so they can actually see the load of orders build up. They can see that load of orders and buys, and they can see the range of stops right underneath all of that. So they know where everybody is ready to get out of the market. And so they can pump it up that little bit and push it down. You know, here we go, pump it up, push it down, pump it up, push it down, pump it up, crack. And now we're on further down as Bitcoin is showing strength and gathering. So it's the Bitcoin dominance now that's crushing this. So what I wanted to do is grab our Discord community link and stick it in the chat. Come and join us if you've been following along for a while. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button so that when I do the episode, it's at different times of the day, you'll be notified for it and you can come along and check it out. Normally, the routine is going to be following the big 6 coins. And I call them the big 6 because they're trading on BitMEX, where you can go long and short for each of these big 6 coins. And right now, I can't go short on any of them because they're not making a top formation and a break. So our short signal was actually just after the almost buy signal was there. So here we have the buy signal, put on your stop just above your entry. It broke my entry. It's crossed the exponential moving average sell signal on the break with a small bit of your position. Not a sell signal for me though. So I'm just watching for this to come down and for the catch the bottom formation and to deploy the plan as this happens. To be there to deploy a small leveraged position and get that stop loss just above the entry and sit on my hands. My job is to watch for these bottom formations and deploy with risk control rules. Then the market's job is up to it. It did its thing, it kicked me out. Okay, my job is to restart again. If it didn't kick me out, my job would be to sit on my hands and let the market do its job. Let the market do what it's doing with that trade until it gives me a consolidation that I can move my stop up. Until it makes a consolidation where I can add on to that trade. And those will be conversations we have as these unfold, but it may be months from now as we're talking about it. Thanks for subscribing, son. Actually, I was expecting a little animation and music for your subscription while we're on the live stream. Let's go back to Bitcoin and zoom in on this because all eyes are here and everything is relying or dependent on what this is doing. And there's been so many times in the past that as Bitcoin was going up and altcoins are making a potential bottom and Bitcoin's making a potential top, I would get all completely established and ready in the altcoins. And then it didn't work out. Things started to slide and Bitcoin kept going up. Then you don't know how to undeploy from your alts without giving up on it. And it cost me, I think in 2017, it cost me $500,000 because I kept holding my alts all the way down like a, what do you call the monkey trap, where you can't change the value of what's in your hand compared to the value of what's around you. You hold your hand in a fist and you can't pull it out of the coconut. The monkey puts their hand in the coconut. I'll explain it properly. The coconut trap is the monkey is hungry. Somebody has set up a coconut with a small hole in it and they've put rice in the coconut and they've chained the coconut to the ground. So the monkey comes along and he can't think well enough. He puts his hand in there because there's rice. He grabs the rice in his hand. He's hungry. He wants that rice. And as he goes to pull his hand out, he can't pull it out because his fist is bigger than the hole now. If he'd let go of the rice, he could pull his hand out, but because he's hungry, he holds on to that rice. And as the hunter is coming up to capture him, he's pulling and pulling and pulling to get his hand out of the coconut, but he can't do it. And so the hunter just walks up and puts him in a bag. And the monkey just stays there, never changing his value of that food. If he had revalued that food and let go of it, he could run away. And so by changing my thinking about the value of what I'm holding to say that it is worth X number of Bitcoin here, whether I have it in Litecoin or Bitcoin. The question is, which one is going up? So I don't consider it a loss. I don't, because it is what it is. I don't consider that I'm losing from here to here. This is where I am. Which one is going up? This is where I am. Which one is going up? This is where I am. Which one is going up? There is no losing or winning in the trading because it doesn't end. There's no failing the test. And it also is and maybe I'm going off track here, but part of the success in trading, the psychology of trading, is to get over the fact that you're going to be wrong and that expect to be wrong and what is your plan to be wrong, and don't let it change your feeling of your success by actually being wrong. If you're going to be wrong, and you can expect to be wrong, it is not an error to be wrong. It's not a mistake. You're going to be wrong. And so when you reevaluate and you change the way you think about making mistakes, and you don't think about like a school situation or a job situation or a job interview or a test where you get it or you don't, you win or you fail. If you think about it, I'm going to, and then you have these risk control rules, you can make the mistakes smaller and you're okay with switching back and stop being wrong. That's the killer, is to hold on to it and say, it's going to bounce, it's going to bounce, it's going to bounce, it's going to bounce. But as soon as you're wrong, I'm out. It's a lot easier to do. It's a practice thing. It's a matter of knowing that strategy ahead of time, practicing it out in your mind, and then as it's happening, say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick by my wingman. So anyway, Bitcoin looks like it's going to go parabolic. It really does look like that the times in 2017 where I was holding, let's go back to a longer term view and bring this back. Let's clear that off. What is up? Litecoin may not be the best example of this case study. I always like to go back to BitShares. It was a really good example of what most of the markets did. It was a good average. And through this time, as Bitcoin was going up, right here we go. This is the first of the addiction right here. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, growing, a nice add-on position here, nice profits, and then it came back. Every consolidation, Bitcoin's making a potential top formation. Every consolidation, Bitcoin is making a potential top. Every consolidation, this was different. Bitcoin was just pushing, but these were holding steady. So it was another place to think that the alts are going to go up. Another place here as Bitcoin wobbled around. So all the way along, there was lots of ways to rationalize holding on. But if I had switched right here on the exponential moving average break and gone into Bitcoin and waited till the exponential moving average crossed over again and don't take any action at all until that moving average crosses over again, I would have done a lot better. And so this is what I'm practicing this time, is to do that very strategy, waiting for these exponential moving averages to cross over. And then I go back to our spreadsheet, and this is it. This is the monster that is going to tell us exactly when all of the failing is done. All of the neutral markets are setting up. Everything is starting to go into alert status. A bunch of the first level coins are going into hold status. And now we've got the entire market into hold status. So there will be those stages that we can see it all going from day to day to day. As it's unfolding, we'll know to put a small bit of our Bitcoin into some of these coins to grow it from the Bitcoin it is now to a little bit more Bitcoin. And then we release those coins when it goes to a cold fish. And we put it back in Bitcoin. All of this along with those moving averages, everything that we're doing here can be yours to access so that you can not only support the study, but you get access so that you are using this for your own trading, and you can join us over on Patreon and support the channel there. So Nicholas, you got a question. Do you think alts will have a comeback? Yes, alts will have a comeback, and that's why I'm spending so much time going over all of these charts from day to day to monitor it specifically so that we know exactly when the alts are coming back. And we're not jumping into it too soon, and we're not getting ourselves beat up by trying these little bottom formations, on a 15-minute time frame. It's crazy. It whips back and forth so much, you get killed. But if we step back to the 4-hour time frame, it smooths things out pretty good. And if we're adding in then parallel channels and 1, 2, 3 bottoms and our indicator set, we are going to be in position to deploy the first part of our plan on a break of something like this, get our stop loss above it and say, oh, okay, we get kicked out. The exponential moving average crossed over. So now it's a failed 1, 2, 3. I'm going to flip and go short while these exponential moving average is crossed. Now I can't do it. I got to wait. But this is what we're going to be doing in this channel, is to be monitoring these 6 coins and to trade them with leverage following this plan. Just going over, checking out gold and silver over on the other panel here. They are looking great. My Bitcoin is growing, trading gold, silver, and platinum. Not growing trading the alts though. The alts have to wait. Right now, the best place for Bitcoin is in Bitcoin, and even a small leverage long on Bitcoin as it breaks above these 3 highs, and we have that trend line break. That's the time for the nitro. What do I think of AION? It's got to be much the same as most everything. AI, where are you? AION. It's not one of the coins that is what I would call it gray, which means that it is neutral. A gray coin is anytime it comes into a bottom formation and it's making its way up to breakout. When it's in between these areas, it's gray. Then it turns maybe alert color. It could turn green here, and then it turns cold fish. And then it's gray. It's fail, near fail, fail, all the way along here. And then we go into a gray status until here. And as it breaks and fails again, now it goes back to a fail status, near fail, fail, all the way along here. It comes up into a gray and an alert status here. If we get our stop loss above our entry, we're golden and we can just wait it out. But then it turns into a cold fish here and nothing doing until this 4-hour exponential moving average crosses over. So there's nothing to do here, and there shouldn't be holding it as that crossed over in the short term. Most of the time, I like to go by the 12-hour EMA. So it crossed over quite some time ago. It said, get out. And there's nothing to do until at least the 4-hour EMA crosses over. This was a clear signal a long time ago out of this. And there's our pissing off the roof pattern out of this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that failed. Out of the longer term. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, looking so awesome. Great technical levels. It is fantastic. And then Bitcoin dominance shifted right there. The exponential moving averages crossed over for everything on the first week of April. And there's been nothing doing since. Any jumping in is all FOMO. All, FOMO? Fear of missing out. Jumping in too soon. And then, bang. Jumping in too soon, bang. So, part of this stream is also to speak to my own subconscious about this very same thing. So, as I review a trade and I go, oh, that looks good. Let's hang on a second now. Does it have this? Does it have this? Does it have that? Does it have this other thing? Does it? Okay, now we wait for exactly this specific thing and get ready, hands on the bat. So there's a lot of preparation for these trades before doing anything, and a lot of nothing to do here. Should have been a lot of holding Bitcoin and waiting, doing nothing, hard as it is. So all of them are much the same. So I'm going to wrap it up for this stream. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope that we start growing over time. The only way for us to grow is to hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe so that we're growing. If you want this data and you want that extra stuff, go over to Patreon and subscribe. If you want to have this stuff trickle feeded through to you throughout the day, come and join us on Discord. But now I'm happy to end off with a great bunch of gratitude for the people who are making this stream possible. You, the watchers, the subscribers, the thumbs uppers, and this group of people who are patron subscribers and alert subscribers. Cheers, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. Bye for now.